How do you prepare with your analysts before a game? What kind of things do you go over?
I think it's probably the most important thing for preparing with your analysts is getting to know them a little bit. So when you come on the air, you sound like you enjoy each other's company because if you just show up at 7 o'clock and meet each other right then, you're going to be able to tell on the air that you don't know each other and don't have any kind of rapport with each other. So getting to know each other a little bit on the phone if you've not worked together before, the week of the broadcast, getting together for dinner Friday night, and obviously in the production meetings, you'll go over stuff together. The couple hours leading up to the game in the booth, I like to go over those notes I just talked about with the storylines with my analyst and, kind of bring him in on the fact that this is what I'm looking at. Ask him, what else do you think is important? And from there, at that point, a couple hours before the game, you'll both pretty much be on the same page. But those are the kind of questions you want to be asking in the 2 days you're on site together. What are you thinking? Our main storylines and most importantly, the overarching thing is just kind of developing a rapport and getting along with the guy.
I'm guessing at least in college you worked solo on a lot of broadcasts. So what's the difference
Mhm.
between working on a broadcast alone and then working with an analyst?
Yeah, I was solo a lot in college, and then I was solo for the first 2 years in Montgomery. Year three here, they've given me a number two who will be taking over as number one next year. And it has been, first of all, a blast to have a number two for baseball because it's tough. It certainly tests you doing 140 games by yourself. And I think that if you're not prepared and if you don't have a true knowledge of the game, you're going to get exposed at some point over the course of a summer where you're doing 140 games. And definitely makes you learn quickly having to fill those 3 hours and learning how to balance the description with the stories, with the history of the game. And I think that is an important experience to have learned how to go through that 140 game season by yourself. Now, for me, it's a lot more fun having a partner just because you can make jokes and get instant response whether or not that joke's funny. It's not great making jokes when you're solo because you don't have any idea if they're funny, if there's anybody laughing. When there's a partner in the baseball booth, you can bounce that off of them and get a little conversation going. But I greatly prefer, and I think everybody probably would say they greatly prefer having an analyst over being solo just because it's more fun and it's definitely easier.